Really pleased with the win on Saturday. I thought our coaches and leaders did a tremendous job throughout the week, preparing our guys to go back to back on the road, and had some challenges with weather, and guys fought through it, and we were a resilient group all week long, and went down to Macomb, and really pleased with the way the guys played. Had some adversity in the first half. Gave up a touchdown, and McGuire did a great job on that drive to get them a score, and then our offense responded right back to go up 10-7, and defense made a big play in the second quarter to get us up 17-7 with Marquise on a sack, and then we talked at halftime it was going to be a four-quarter game, and I was really pleased with the offense coming out and responding on the first drive of the third quarter, getting a couple of big pass plays, tie on a big run, and then hitting the home run with Shep, so that really gave us a good lift. And then, you go +5 in the turnover margin on the road, you're going to have a good chance to be successful. So really pleased with the win over a good team, and we'll turn our attention to Illinois State. I know everybody wants to talk about guys that are banged up and stuff, and Bruce and Robbie suffered hamstring injuries. We're pleased in the fact that neither one was as severe as what we thought on Saturday. I think both will work into some kind of activity this week. I'm hopeful that one or both still could have a chance to play. It's hard to say today. It's just because we haven't done anything yet. Where we're at probably on Wednesday or Thursday, but I know they're not as severe as what they originally thought about. In the same respect, it's the next man up if they can't go, and that's why you recruit. That's why you develop guys. That's why you got to be ready when your number's called. So hopefully those two guys can go. If they can't, then the backups have to be able to step up, and we'll have no excuses and have to play really good football against a great team on Saturday.
The running back thing's kind of obvious because you have a depth there, but what does the secondary look like if you don't have Robbie?
Well, then Tutsi, who did a really good job in the second half, would just step in and fill that role. I don't think so, Dom. I still think he's probably a couple weeks away. I'll probably learn a little bit more this week, but he didn't do anything last week.
What about Tanner Bolson? I know he came back, and what was his injury?
Like a wrist, hand, but he's ready to roll. He's good.
Is Destin Talbert on a 4 games thing, or is he going to be part of the defense?
We don't know yet. We're just going to continue to move forward, and he made a really good play on special teams, and did a really good job on punt defense, and I know he's a really good player, and so we're going to just kind of go week by week. I think he's played in a couple now, but if he can help us for the long term, then he'll stay and play.
You didn't get probably the real look of James Robinson last year just because the conditions became normal. How good of a quality back is this guy?
Boy, he's fun to watch. He's a physical runner. He's got great speed, great balance, great vision. One of the best that is probably in FCS, and we'll have our hands full, and the other one's pretty dang good too. And so we have to be able to slow down the run game, and they've been doing a great job of rushing the football, and their offense goes as their ability to run the football. So it's going to be a big challenge for our defense.
Second in the country in turnover margin. Your thoughts on what difference that makes?
It makes a huge difference in just taking care of the football. We're still always trying to find ways to create takeaways, whether we're strip drills or interception things in practice. But to get the big 4 interceptions in the fourth quarter were critical. And then the other thing is just us hanging on and taking care of the football, not having some of the poor throws or a poor communication receiver to quarterback. We had the one mishap, and Dylan Radens was able to jump on the ball on a fumble we had. But especially on the road, you have to be able to take care of the football.
What difference does that make with a senior quarterback? How does he factor in that?
It's a huge factor in the fact of he knows how the flow of the game's going too, as far as can he take a chance, can he be more aggressive. He knows where his receivers are going to be. He sees things pre-snap so well, and he's on the same page with his receivers and tight ends, and that's a big thing to have your senior quarterback that knows how everybody fits within the scheme of our offense.
Did Spencer Wagey earn himself a few more snaps regardless of who does or doesn't play that?
We'll see how that goes. I mean, he's a really good football player, and we'll get Caleb back this week. So he played a little inside. He played a little outside. It gives us great depth inside there, and it all depends on how many plays we have. But without question, he did some really good things, and we expected him to. He's a dang good football player.
Coach, over the last few weeks, we've heard about communication needing to be better on defense. How would you rate your communication on defense
Well,
this past week?
We were really good on defense. I think two things happened. One, we simplified a lot of things. Coach Ince, I thought, did a great job with the defensive staff and the players of maybe not having as many calls in and being a little bit simplistic as far as what we were doing pre-snap. And then I thought our guys did a really good job of recognizing, we put a lot on those defensive kids, not just know the call, but what's the split of the receiver, what's the depth of the back, is the back gun far, gun weak, gun strong, where's the tackles, are they light, they heavy, whatever. I mean, we have so many communication things that we probably simplified it a little bit more this week, and I thought our guys really played fast and we played physical.
Offensively, they got like a new staff, a different quarterback. Have they changed a lot? Or is that better?
They're doing a really good job. They're running the football, and I think that's the whole key to any really good offense. Is if you can move the football running it, you create 8-man boxes, 9-man boxes, so you can throw the ball. We're familiar with the offensive coordinator. He was there when they had their great teams in 14 and 15, and it's different style, so to speak, just because they have a different type of quarterback. But they're doing a lot of really good things offensively because they're spreading people out and running the football, or they're getting in 2 tight ends and running the football, and that sets up play action with some man-to-man coverage. Been really impressed with the quarterback, impressed with the receivers as well. So it's a really balanced offense that can get you a lot of different ways, but you have to be able to slow down their running game. Well, he ran a little bit more this week, and I think he was scrambling more to throw earlier in the season, and now you see him scrambling just in the last couple games to move it with his feet as well. I'm really impressed. He's got a really live arm. He sees things really well. He escapes the pocket well, and then this past week he ran a few more times, so he's not going to be a statue back there. He's going to cause us some concern as far as we can't just play man coverage and not have a guy responsible for him, or at least have really good rush lanes with our 4 down.
Easton's completion percentage is a little bit lower than Randy's normal benchmark. Do you guys need to find him some easier throws, or is the vertical nature of what you're doing kind of behind that?
I think there's two things to that. One, he missed one, I think, with Shep on a quick out. We dropped, I think, 3 balls. So then you'd be at 15 of 20, and we wouldn't be even having the conversation. But we are hitting more explosive plays.
Coach, when you get to this point of the Missouri Valley, guys getting dinged up and, playing a lot of Valley games, how important is depth, and are you happy with the depth where we're at right now?
Yeah, especially since we had the open week after game 1. This is going to be 6 in a row for us now. I'm pleased with our depth. We're playing an awful lot of guys at a number of positions. We're always continuing to try to develop guys and find guys. I was really pleased with, you guys mentioned Spencer Wage. I was really pleased with Tutsi coming in and playing significant snaps. May not see it in the statistics, but Christian Watson's getting a lot better. Phoenix Sproles is getting a lot better. Adam Colefield's getting a lot better, and we see that on a daily basis in practice. And so if Bruce is limited, it'll give more reps to Adam, and I think he's ready for that role. And then special teams, we just continue to try to. That's why we had Destin on there a little bit. James Kaiser played. Mason Hofstad played. We played some different guys on special teams, and as we continue on through this long season, we're gonna have to rely and find more guys.
Where did the code green thing come from?
Boy, probably take me forever to go through it, Jeff. We'll talk about it maybe another time, but I think it dates back to when Gus was here.
Chris, I know you mentioned to me that Tutsi was really impressive through the spring. What did he do through fall camp to say we're ready to get him in and get more reps?
First thing is learn from Robbie. He's got natural instincts of a really good football player. But then he just watched Robbie more and more. And there's some little things early in the season that we didn't think he was doing quite as well. And then you're able to see the guy in front of you that's been an All-American for a couple of years do it, show you how it's supposed to be done. And he practices so hard every day. And he's in the film room. He wants to learn. He's a sponge of a football guy, and so that's fun to be around guys like that are always eager to learn more and more. And when the other thing is when his time came this week, and I know it was whether it was 24/7 when he was in the game or whatever, it was still on the balance. The stage wasn't too big for him. That's what I was so impressed with. He was ready, and he responded really well.
How big is it, both your safeties, their dads are both coaches? Is that a big deal?
That's a huge deal. In that they've been around the game of football so much, and things make sense to them when you have conversations about things. And I was so happy Tut's dad was able to drive in and get there. I think in the middle of the third quarter or something after his game to see his son play a pretty meaningful role in a college game. But it makes a huge difference when those guys just know the game of football.
Seems like every week, Chris, offensively, there's just a couple of new wrinkles. I mean, is that just something you guys want to do? Is just try to bring in more and more secret one just to push it more?
Yeah, it comes to that as well as just trying to find ways to dent people. You don't really know how people are going to play. So they're going to stack everybody in there so you can't run the inside power in the inside zone. And if they do, then we have to be able to get on the edge, which we were able to do a few times with Ty. And then we show it off the edge, and all of a sudden Easton keeps it, and we've got a lead blocker in front of him. Those things just, I think, make us so much more difficult to defend, because you can say, okay, now I can start defending you sideline to sideline, and all of a sudden we can get into big people and run power at you. And so I think the offensive staff's doing a really good job of continuing to find different ways to get guys the ball in space that need it in space, to get the quarterback run game involved, as well as know what our bread and butter is, which is to be able to run in between the tackles.
Are Ben and Nate about as good as you've had as far as blocking tight ends?
Yeah, they're exceptional. We've had some really good ones. Andrew Bonnet was pretty dang good in there, but those guys are playing really well. And then you throw Robbins and Malmstrom in that can play fullback and tight end. I think, I always wonder what people see Brock Robbins as. Do they see him as a fullback? Do they see him as a tight end? He's a different body than Chase, but we utilize him in some similar ways that we did Chase. That I don't know how people really judge Chase. Is he a fullback? Is he a tailback? And we've flexed Brock out on his own sometimes as well.
Chris, how much did the rivalry change with Illinois State playing in the title game? Does that change things with the team?
Oh, yeah, there's a great respect. I've got a tremendous amount of respect for Illinois State, Coach Spack, and what they've done. He's been there a long time. They have a great system in place. Since we've been in Chicago, we've seen them a lot more in the recruiting battles, and know a lot more of their roster now than we did 4 or 5 years ago, because we either have been on some of those guys as well as some of the kids that we've gotten here. But I think our guys know it's going to be a real physical game. They're going to have tremendous athletes on both sides of the ball, and just the fact that we played each other in that title game, I think people always will come back to that moment, because that was probably one of the best national championship games people have seen.
Is it weird to shake his hand without his mustache?
It'll be fine. Brock's a great man and done a heck of a job there.
What was the genesis of Ty's unsportsmanlike conduct?
He did something kind of silly, and he and I visited about it. And Ty's a pretty energetic, emotional kid, and he was having fun. And they called him, and that was fine. We corrected it and addressed it, and Ty will be fine moving forward. I was just happy to see him healthy. He missed a couple games with an ankle sprain, and on that touchdown run, I saw the burst that we had come to expect to see over the last year or so, that he needs to be healthy, because he's going to have a much more significant role.
Coach, you guys have 66 points off turnovers this year, including another defensive touchdown this week. How big is that in the course of a game to be putting up defensive touchdowns?
Well, it's huge, especially in the times we're doing it, to flip the momentum or flip the field, so to speak. And it's something we emphasize all the time. And in this league, you have to find a way to make an explosive play. We made a punt return the week before against UNI with Shep for about 25 yards that flipped the field. We did the same thing with Keese on an interception, and it's you always finding ways. The turnovers are big, flipping the field with special teams. You're always in this league. You're just not going to go 80 yards in 10, 12 plays very often. People know each other so well, so you have to find ways to steal a score or steal a short field.
Wagner's been a good weapon for you. It's a good improvement over last season.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned him, Mike, because he's done a tremendous job. We always recognize a player of the game or a couple of guys in the locker room. And we mentioned Wags, and he got the biggest ovation of anybody that we've mentioned because of, there was a little bit of wind down there, down on the field, and he banged it into the wind really well. And with hang time, that McShane's a great returner, and he got us on the one kickoff that we missed a couple tackles, but we eliminated the punt return. And then he's done a phenomenal job holding. I mean, there was a couple of snaps that were high or low, and we've got to get that corrected. But Cam's not worried about it now. He knows he's going to get the ball down. And Wags has been not a surprise because we saw it coming last spring, how much he had developed and how much he works at it. And the thing I really like about Wags, he's such a competitor. He gets really upset with himself if he's not punting really well today or on Tuesday or the days that we punt. And so I'm really pleased with him. I think we've found our guy for the future.
Coach, you have the 2 road wins back to back. How big was it to get through that stretch and send you now into the last half of the season?
Well, it always there's no such thing as a bad win. Road wins are really tough to come by. Home wins are tough to come by in this league. But we're sitting in a good spot. But we've only played three league games, and the gauntlet continues. And if you ever start feeling too good about yourself, you're going to get beat. And that's the thing that we always talk about on Mondays when we get together with the guys, especially as you get into Valley play. Whatever you did the previous week will have no bearing on what you do the next week. Sometimes that's good and bad. Whether it's people disappointed in our defensive performance against Northern Iowa, you just got to wipe it away, and you got to prepare for the next week because what you did the one week has no bearing on what you're going to do. It doesn't matter in this league. We always look at the scores and you say, wow, well, why are we saying wow sometimes? There's such good football teams, good coaching, and people know each other so well that you have to have your A game and you have to do a great job of preparing Monday through Friday. And if you skip a step, that's why I was so impressed with the guys. We were outside in the ice/snow windstorm on Wednesday, and we had one of our best practices of the year because our guys attacked it and said, you know what, this is the hand we're dealt. Let's go get better. And that's North Dakota tough there.